welcome to a new episode of the Marketing Blah Blah podcast. This time in our GCVB series, we have with us Ricard Montalà, the CEO and founder of Begorett Velomobile. Ricard, very happy to have you here today.
Thank you very much, Joe and Victoria, to invite me to this podcast. It's wonderful to be here. And well, let's start.
Okay. So first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. You're a designer and an engineer, and you come from an automotive company.
Well, I am a mechanical engineer in education background. I had been involved in two main industries: the automotive, the first years of my career, and then in an elevator company. Pretty different, and with different functions. In the automotive area, I've been a test pilot at the beginning, then a process engineer, and also a product engineer with some projects in Asia, like Korea, Japan, and then here in Europe, in Germany and Barcelona. And because of the globalization, all the projects were more in Asia than here in Spain. And for a question of future, we decided to move. And we choose an elevator company because elevators are always on the buildings, and the buildings are where they are, so they cannot move. And that was a pretty nice question for that. And there I've been involved in the commercial area and the management area of an elevator as a branch manager of a company. And after this, I became the business development manager of this company and also the marketing director for 5 years. So we have some points in common, not just the engineering. We have also some marketing issues in common. I'm not a professional of marketing, but I've been a director of marketing, surprisingly. So that's a little bit my background.
Sure. But maybe it's not so surprising because you've developed, or your company has developed, the Begorett Velomobile. Yeah. A very, very intriguing, let's call it a pedelec with an automotive chassis.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the main idea. All starts with an idea after seeing cyclists in secondary roads with very close roads that you don't see them till you are on them. And this mixed with some news in the TV with a lot of people dying with crashes between cyclists and cars or vans, that make me think, well, we can cycle in another way. We can cycle safe, and how can we do it? And I imagine a monoplace bike with 4 wheels and someone seated with something that protects him against vans or cars, or tries to protect it. And that was the beginning. We start with that raw idea, and we were working on it, and we are still working on it because it's pretty complex. It seems easy, but once you take hands on it, you see that there are a lot of complexities around this project that you have to go on and to end it in a good way. So, well, that starts like this.
But from what we can see already, and you've developed prototypes, obviously. It's a very fascinating concept because it looks like a car, a small racing car from, I don't know, 1930s or something, maybe.
Yeah, I have to say that I was inspired with 1930s Formula car.
Ah,
Yeah,
so that's where I recognize it.
Yeah, you will recognize because it was part of the inspiration. Yeah, I love the shape. I love all the history behind them, and well, I try to make a cycling product, but also something that would be nice at the eyes from the people, and it want to be more than a bicycle. It want to be just a true mobility solution for not for everybody, of course, but for a lot of people. I had a problem when I was working in Barcelona. I'm living 1 hour and a half from there, and I've been there every day between 30 and 45 minutes with traffic jams, and that made me think a little bit. And a lot of people that were collapsing the roads, the main roads, are moving with one car for just one person. Here in Germany, you have a ratio around 1.5 persons per car, and I think that in Barcelona it's nearly the same. And when I was there in the traffic jam, I saw people angry, people listening to music. Well, you know, you can see all kinds of people, but I imagine myself cycling with a Begorett Velomobile and saying goodbye to the people stopping there, and arriving to the office with energy because I activate my body 1 hour before, and with happiness. You know, I will not be angry because I have no reason to be angry. And if a lot of people move like this, it should be better for everybody.
Definitely, it's very nice, and it's nice to look at it. And probably the driving experience is very good. It's probably superior to the regular biking experience. And also one thing that we can see, and what we can see from the construction, is that it's very safe. So safety seems to be like one of the main USPs of the Velomobile.
In Begorett Velomobile, this is the main priority of the project. In the Velomobile history, the main objective is also lightness and aerodynamics, because the real velomobilist used to think that it's all about human power and to achieve the maximum speed, or to maintain the maximum speed as possible with the less energy that a human can make. But I want to sacrifice part of this ideology, giving an extra weight to the safety, and I'm trying to compensate this extra weight with an electrical system that can add extra power just to supply this lack of lightness, you know.
So it's an electrical engine.
Yes, right now you have a mid motor with a continuous automatic gearbox and the regular transmission like a car, you know, differential and U-joints and so on. But I'm moving this to a new level, to a new concept of an hybrid system. And instead of a mid motor, I want to use a generator on the pedals. So you can generate electricity all the time, also when you are stopped. Also, when you are going downhill, you can accumulate energy. And you can accumulate energy twice. Once from the pedal and the second from the motors. And the motors are hub motors. So you have the motors on the wheels, and you can brake with the motors, recovering energy. And you can also generate electricity while you are stopped in a traffic lamp. You know, that's the new development that we are working on it, and we think that it's very, very, very interesting because of all the opportunities that it gives to the design, and also because it's less complex in a mechanical way, because there are less couple transfers to all the mechanical parts, including the chassis. So at the end, you have some torque on the pedals, and then you have it directly to the wheels, and that's a very good thing for the design side, you know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have to believe you everything you're saying, because I have actually no idea about cars or bikes. But I'm sure, I mean, Joe has been very excited about your product for the last few weeks and months. Basically, since he discovered it, he was always telling me about how crazy good this idea is. So I'm just believing you there. Maybe a more basic question: how fast can you go with this?
Uphill or downhill?
Let's say flat.
Yeah. Well, these electric bikes are limited up to 25 kilometers per hour. Mm-hmm. Yes, they are limited by the engine support. The regular velomobiles have the chain transmission, so once the motor stops assisting the rider, they can achieve a little bit more. Normally they can achieve 30-40 kilometers per hour flat, and then downhill they can go very, very fast. But the question is this vehicle designed to achieve more than this than this speed? So do you think that you are riding safe at 70 or 90 kilometers per hour downhill with a small bike that is designed to go up to 30-40? So I think that not at all. For that, it's important, and at the beginning of this project, to achieve the goals step by step. And the first step is have a secure bicycle up to 25 kilometers per hour. The next step will be to achieve 45 kilometers per hour with super pedelec regulation. And let's go step by step. Always on a safe mode, you know. Is the most important thing for us.
Yeah, I can totally relate for two reasons. I lived in London for a while, and I was also cycling there, and it was, first of all, very dangerous, not at least because it was at the wrong side of the road, but even when you get used to that, it's quite dangerous with like the double-decker buses, and there's also like, for someone who's not super sporty and fit like me, is the second reason. You have some hills and some, you have quite far distances to go in London. It's a big city. I think that like having an e-bike or your product is definitely something that can, change your life and make it more comfortable, but while still being healthy. It's like that middle ground, because there was also some days where air pollution was so high that you weren't allowed to drive your car on the other hand side. So
it's not just a question of the product, it's also about the government and the investments that they make on the cycle path and the infrastructure of the cities. I think that we need to rethink the cities in another way. Here in Barcelona we have a project that will kill 1/3 of every single street. So at the end, the main idea is that you are living in an area of a city. You will do all your life there. You have to work there. You have to lunch there. You have to go to the gym there. You have to do everything there. Now people is used to do the things where the things are best. So they can eat on the sea, and then they make a sport on the mountains, and they go to the disco in another place. So the vision of the government there is to make every day more and more difficult to do that. The way to change this is taking off some streets. So at the end, you know that Barcelona is like a very regular city because you have the Eixample and it's all very squared. So if every 9 streets you keep just 6 as a first step, well, in the future, all these streets will be for cycle path, for people walking, and so on. And I think that this is the way that we must do it. Everything must be 0 kilometers. So everything, all the things that we need as humans, we must reach it from our nearby. And it makes no sense to buy things made in China and then transport with all the contamination that supposed to Europe or America and so on. So I think that we must rethink all these things just to have a healthier life, and not just in a genetical way. It's more than this. It's also for the mental health and the way do you like to live.
Yeah, it's a complete mindset, a new mindset. With a different kind of living, and yes, and I think totally we agree that we need more non-traditional vehicle space in the cities and other ways of transport, more environmental friendly, and as Victoria said, also at the same time contributing to your health, at least a little bit, depending on how you use it. So that's why we thought, apart from the design, and the one other thing that I also didn't really mention when I talked about safety, you really have a cage, a real, is it iron or is it composite structures? The cage you have inside the vehicle, it looks like a rally car.
It looks like a rally car, and it's inspired on the FIA regulations. The material here choose is aluminium because of the lightness.
Sure.
The main reason is the lightness. We can have heavier chassis with other materials, but they increase a lot the weight. And in engineering, you have to find the compromise between all the requirements that you have, and an aeronautical grade aluminium in this case was the choice, and we can achieve a resistance around 5 tons per zone for every single zone. So front, back, side, and also the top of the vehicle can achieve this kind of efforts. And the chassis is also designed with different sections and different thickness of the tubes. So the central part where the rider is where it's bigger diameters, bigger thickness, and then the back, also the secondary subframe, that it's also in the same frame. But what I have in my mind as a second frame, that it's the back of the vehicle. It have different section with different thickness, because it wants to absorb part of a rear impact. It's very difficult to Begorett to impact in the front. It's very, very difficult. So it's more easy that someone impacts you at the back, some car that is going fast and it don't see you in the curve or something like this. So it has this change of definition of the structure, just to absorb partially the impact. So you have some impact absorption, and also then you are collapsed and you are thrown back, you are thrown out of the road. But in that case, you are seated in a regular seat with a harness, and you are protected. Mm-hmm. Then you have a shell, a body, the design, that it's made in carbon fiber just for light reasons. It's not giving any structure. Right now, it's not giving any structure and performance. It's just to have a shape in the lightest way that you can have. It's like a skin. The idea is having a super thin skin that it can support the aerodynamical forces, and that's all. That's the main job of the body.
And also from rain and snow and bad weather.
For sure. For sure. Weather protection is also the main objective. Aerodynamics and weather protection were the two main objectives of the body. Of course, you need weather protection because it rains a lot in Europe and some parts of Europe, and also it's very windy here in Spain. It's very windy, so I thought in a vehicle that it can works in whole Europe. Also in the northern parts with more cold climates and rain, and also snow. This design of an hybrid velomobile with a pedal generator, it also gives me the choice to can install 4 wheel drive wheels, so we can have full traction. And that could be nice in some situations or in some areas in winter,
Sure.
How long have you been working on the Begorett? How many years of development? And
I've forgotten because a long time ago. I think it starts around 2015 as a hobby, something made in the free time. And it starts more intensive in 2019.
Okay, and what stage?
We can say 2 years. We can say 2 years of full development or full effort on it.
And what stage is the company at right now?
The stage is that we have the product in development. Till it's very difficult to come alive a company, and the first thing that you need is something to sell, and the first thing that you need is people to buy.
Of course.
It seems that there are a lot of people interested in buying, and the second question is at what price they want to buy it. And for that, we need to define the product, fully define the product. And once we have this, we have to choose the production system that allows us to have the product cost that allows to give to the market the product at the required price. And it's something very, very complex because at the end, this is a private initiative, and it's not a gigant group like Volkswagen or Porsche or whatever. They can make all these things with just one click, And this is the main difficulty. So a lot of people like the product, but they say, oh, but how much it can cost? And when you're talking around 15,000 euros, you say, oh, I can buy a car for that price. Yes, of course, you can buy a car, but you can buy a mass production car.
Yeah.
But this is not a mass production vehicle. If we can produce it in mass, it will be very, very cheap. But
yeah, of course.
But
Yeah,
when can you do that? That's
as soon as
that's the main issue in this project.
yeah, right. So you're basically still like the startup, and once you define or once you gain more market, more market share actually, you can then start scaling up and also changing the product and changing the production of the product when demand peaks or when it rises. It's different than now, and that was actually one of our questions. How do you take the product to market right now? What is like the main messaging? Because I think that, and I think you also said that it's been well received so far, but now you have to come into the phase where you start selling the product.
Well, if you are asking me about the marketing strategy, once you have the product tested and you can produce it in a quality way, what you have to do is to have proximity marketing. So you have to attend fairs, you have to let the people test the product. And once they test it, I hope that a lot of them wants to own it. Mm-hmm. And I think that this is the main way. Also, we have to support that with media strategy on the internet. I have the idea to look for investors, but what kind of investors? Car sharing companies. Mm-hmm. Car sharing companies. If I have a big contract from a car sharing company, I can assume the high mass production from the beginning, and I also can buy to particulars this vehicle in an economical way. Mm-hmm. And this is what I see that it could be the way to do it possible in a low price. Mm-hmm. Because if not, you have to think that just the molds of the body cost more than 30,000 euros. Mm-hmm. So this 30,000 euros must be repercute to every single owner. If you produce 10 per year, it's 3,000 just for the mold and then the parts. So, and then the guarantee. You have to give a guarantee also. So there are a lot of intrinsic costs that must be covered with the price. Mm-hmm. At the end, the price is too high. So the main problem is how to put the prices down. Mm-hmm. And the only way could be mass production. Right. So when we curve the tubes and weld the tubes of the chassis, we made it in a manual way. So we mm-hmm. put it in a leveled table, and we start beginning from nothing. We start building all the chassis from down to up. But if we will have mass production, we can insert into this process robot welding. Mm-hmm. And then the cost of just the frame will be very, very low. Mm-hmm. Instead of being welded at 100 euros per hour. Yeah, no, it's true. The manual. You need 3 days to weld all this. So 3 days, 24 hours, 2,400 euros just for the welding. Uh-huh. Labor cost at the curving the tubes, bending the tubes, and also the materials and the company cost and so on. So costs are a little bit high if you if you are producing the bicycle in a
manually,
manual way.
Yeah.
So far, you have funded your company, your project yourself, or have you had investors as well?
Up to now, it's all self-invested.
Okay, and now you're at the stage where you're looking actually for like a strategic investor.
Yes, this way it's too long, and along the way when you are advancing on this way, you need different collaborators or sometimes are investors, sometimes are partners, and now we are in a stage where strategical partners could be key for this. Just to bring the product to the market.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I'm just asking in case there are any, you know, people around in our listeners who, you know, have too much money lying around and want to have a better planet, a safer planet, who love cycling, who love cars, who love the Formula One, like you said before, because that would be the project for them.
Yes, of course. There are a lot of people that are loving cycling. I also had a company contact in Lebanon, in the Arab region, but not the Arabian Saudite, and it's not the Lebanon region, and it was a holding of 3 companies. They have an energy company, a building company, and also a mobility company. And they were very, very interested on Begorett because they saw that it was a cycling vehicle, it was sustainable, and it was aligned with all the 3 companies that they had in their holding. So the interest is there. The product is developed. It's in development, and I think that all this will mix in the future, in the near future, and we will cross the lines and we will cross the interest, and we can put this project on the market. But the developments are not so fast because also the pedal generator, you have 3 companies in the world that are providing this, and some of them will have the final product next year, at the mid or the end of the next year. So a lot of people want to buy Begorett right now, and because they like it, and they can assume the amount of money that it costs, but there are some things that are not depending on us, and we need to wait a little bit to receive this technology and to integrate it into our vehicle.
No, sure. But when you go to the market, I mean, you've probably have you done any expositions or exhibitions at motor fairs or car fairs or bicycle fairs, or have you just shown it around like a road show?
A road show would be something nice because you can travel in a lot of places and pick the interest of the people that you before have asked them on the internet. So I think that if you launch a road show strategy, mix it with a land page that receive interest of people from different cities. You put the main cities that you think that can cover the big area that you want to cover, and then you can put some days on every city to test the vehicles and so on, and that would be nice. Now the main fair in the bike industry is maybe Eurobike from the general purpose bicycles, and then Spitzy for the super special bicycles. And Spitzy, for me, it's the best first fair to be. to be present. The first fair that I want to be there is Spitze in Germany. I've been here in Spain also in a small fair, the general purpose fair, and it's not the same. So you see the people behind you are selling, I don't know, maybe fridges and cars or towels or whatever, or paints or architecture, and you're there in the middle. It's not the good place to be, but it was easy to me to be there, so I showed the first time the prototype there. But the idea is having two real prototypes to be tested by the potential past customers and bring it to Spitze as the first place. And then I have to think about, but I don't define yet what places would be the best to be, because you know you are marketing people, so you make an investment and you want a return. So
yeah, of course.
And it's difficult to have a return in a short time. So, and it's easy to invest a lot having no return. So that's not good for the financials.
No, of course.
The company. So you have to do things step by step and very carefully, because it's very easy to spend money and too difficult to earn it. So.
No, it's true. But for your visibility, you're using the regular, I guess, your website, social media, building the online presence first, so that people hear from you.
I try to be present in the internet, because it's cheap and also it gives me some visibility. The visibility is growing day by day, because as long as you are, the bigger you are. It's a little bit like this. You are gaining maybe few followers every week, but you have more followers than the week before and the year before and the 5 years before. So I think that it's something very, very cheap, and it's a place where you can be there, and all the people that are interested in your product can follow your
development,
your progress on it. And well, I use mainly the website, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. These are the social medias that I used to be. I'm 47 years old, so I'm not on other TikToks and things like this. I don't know how it works. I have to ask my daughter about this. But well, I focus on this because I think that they are the main social media to be right now there. Also, the target public, it's from 30 to 80, to say something, or 99, depends on the health of the customer. You know, there are older people that are really strong. And I think that Facebook and LinkedIn are good channels for.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think you're on the right track there as well, that there's no need at all to go for like TikTok or Snapchat or like any of those platforms right now. And also, like, when you say you're looking for a partner to work together, like bike rentals and stuff like that, you're also on LinkedIn is the right place to be, to get in touch with those companies. And like you say, and I think you have the right mindset there. Social media growth is nothing that happens overnight. And of course, you can buy your 10,000 followers and 5,000 comments, but that will not in the long run benefit you in any way. So totally just, I think, like I said, you're on the right track by just doing the work, putting the work in every day, and keeping on track with that. And also something you said before about on the one hand side going on fairs and conventions and having the bike there to have people try it out. But on the other hand side, going digital makes sense for you because you want to sell it in all of Europe, as what you said before. You made it to work in Scandinavian countries, like you said. You said all over Europe. It's totally it's made or constructed in such a way that it's suitable for people all over the world, basically. So the fastest and most straightforward way to reach those people is online, where the whole world is a village on the internet. So like the last person we had on the podcast said. So it totally makes sense for you to go online, and it's just a long way. like you said, with marketing, it's nothing that unless you do performance marketing, okay. You usually just have to take the time to get to your goal.
Yeah. And another question that is really of interest, because we saw that on the website, you're developing different use cases, and we saw that, for example, you have one for inner city logistics, which I personally think is very nice, because we also have a client that converts electric vans and makes them bigger and better for courier and express and parcel companies. And from them, we know that there's a whole there are new lines of thought concerning logistics in cities, where you have like the hub and model, where you have one bigger van coming into the city and smaller vehicles redistributed. And I think that's very interesting. And I thought that, this is a very good idea.
Well,
perhaps you're going to pursue that one.
Yeah, this is about the last mile deliverings.
Exactly.
And the Begorett is not look like a van, so but I want to make the product very versatile. So I want to the people that invest in that product can use it for a lot of things. And once alone, we all know what it's working about, but I want to add also the possibility to add a trailer in the back.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that could make sense for small shops where you don't have to invest, or maybe you don't want to invest with a cargo bike and also a speed bike or something like this. So you can have it all with Begorett, adding a trailer in the back. So from Monday to Friday, you can make your last mile deliverings, just adding a trailer on the track on the back.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the weekend you can take it off and you can go where you want with your nice vehicle. And it's also a marketing strategy for those small shops that they have to make their last mile deliverings. Because if you are moving with a vehicle like this, you turn heads. So people,
sure.
What's that? Groceries Simons. Okay, groceries Simons. And it has this double functionality of the product that I think that it could be interesting for them. So I try to make the product as useful as possible. Giving the people the idea to be used in very different ways, and also something that it looks something like incompatible, but at the end can be compatible. Mm-hmm. That is to having a nice car with a truck in the back, but once you leave the truck, you have a nice car, a nice mm-hmm. car,
No, very nice. Very nice. We like it.
Thank you very much.
The next question, of course, would be like, are there any other products? You spoke about upgrading the product, improving it with certain technology features, but do you have other product designs as well? Are you going to make a smaller version, a bigger version, or is that something that you will leave for later and now just focus on the single Begorett Velomobile?
I am focused on the single Begorett. I have in mind a two-seater Begorett, okay? Two three-seater Begorett. I have it in mind, but it's very difficult to achieve this. We have to concentrate all the efforts on the single Begorett. The single Begorett, it's thought that it's a single and a half, so you can add a child in the back of the vehicle, up to 1.20 meters or something like this. It's in the luggage space. It's not real just a luggage space. Can be a luggage space or a child space. They will be protected also with the chassis, and in this case, if you move a child in this vehicle, it's just to go from home to school or something like this. So it's not thinking in the way that you will use it to move your child to another town, from town to town, something like that.
Yeah, sure.
So dangerous. One of the main upgrades that I have in mind is that the chassis, the Begorett Zero, it will not change along the time. What it will change will be the body.
So you have like a platform.
Yes. Well, the main thing is that Begorett Zero may be the basic platform that will not change along the time, or will not change very, very different from the beginning, because all the upgrades that will come later on it must be fitted on the Begorett Zero. And that means that if a new body design it appears, it must be installed in the Begorett Zero. So the Begorett Zero, it's thinking in a circular economy way, where you can sell your old body to someone that bought the Begorett Zero in the cheapest price, and then you can buy the new body. So you can also have a market of bodies or internal parts. The Begorett Zero, so the frame, will last forever, or must last forever, unless it crashes. And if some electrical or mechanical part is broken, you can replace it. So the idea is that this vehicle will be with you forever, till you will pedal. This vehicle will be with you, so you don't need to change your vehicle. And you know that when we have a car, we used to have some kind of relationship with them, because we spend a lot of hours there, and we put a name, or we feel it like an extension of us at the end. And the idea is that Begorett must be an extension of us, something that makes us a little bit stronger, because we will be bionic in that case, because we will be helped with electrical energy. And this nice relationship must not be broken every 5 years or 10 years, like most of the cars. So we can have a long love story there.
That's true. That's a good idea. A very good idea. So to make it a long-lasting product, and the individual parts of it are sustainable, I think that's an excellent idea for a vehicle. Yeah, and it's the future design for vehicles.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect ending to this podcast. I love the notion, just an everlasting relationship. That's beautiful. So I can tell that you've worked in marketing as well. And yeah, thanks for sharing so much about your project and about this very, very exciting project, I have to say, like sustainable, safe, basically anything you want, from like being active, but it's not too exhausting so that you don't want to get in. So I like that too. Yeah, thanks for sharing that on the podcast. And yeah, we wish you the best of luck for finding strategic partners and for your future with the Begorett.
Thank you very much, Victoria. Thank you very much, Joe, for inviting me and to give me the opportunity to tell all this to your audience. It has been a pleasure, and I wish to see you in future in some fair, and I will invite you to test the product, of course.
Yes.
Great.
Thank you.
We're looking
Thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you.
Amazing.
I think that the real not the real, we can cut this.
Yeah, fine. Just keep on talking, Victoria.